Good morning, welcome to my channel. I made this journal just a little while ago, but I hadn't completed it. I've made it for a friend, and it's one of the Nick Booksmith covers. It measures around, let me think, 7 by 475. I really like the style of this type of journal. I like the width. You can actually do amazing things with it. It's just 5, I think. No, 6 signature journal. I love the style. It's like a notebook, but it's a solid board cover. So I use the TLC prints and then odds and ends from other kits. So I just made a pocket there with a journaling card. I just love the style, how it come out. I did a layered tag. I don't know if you can see it. It's got embossing and it's got some other layers there. And then I used a bit of metallic ribbon. I really love how it actually turned out. Sometimes keeping it simple, it looks good. And a birdie journal. Bird tag. So there's lots of room behind the actual envelope that I made, or pocket. A bit of vintage lace for tab. This book belongs to. Again from TLC. I like how vintage it's turned out. It really is cute. Made a little, I didn't make this, but I just love what it states. Little journaling card. And these are RACV roadmaps, which were our original roadmaps here in Australia. I found these at one of these shut-down shops. Look, they're very old. They're from a long, long time ago. I don't know, possibly the 50s, I'd say. RACV is our roadmaps and it's the largest insurance company in Australia. So when I found them, I was really, really, really pleased. I used a different coffee staining method in these, and it just produced such beautiful imprintations. I actually used a bit of baking soda, so you can actually put photos in there. Just made it look a little bit vintagey. So it's a file folder there. I like this style because it opens up fairly wide. This must be a Tsunami Rose. One is a postcard that I must have got from Tsunami Rose as well. Vintage. I thought this journal was appropriate for the person that was receiving it. It's a country girl. I didn't overdo this journal because I don't know, when I make a journal for somebody, I like to think that I'm making it in something that they would like. I made a little clip for it. This was from a vintage book and I turned it into a pocket. Just a bit of note paper. I think this is a Tsunami Rose as well. I like to keep the style of journal that suits the person when I make it directly for a person. Otherwise, I then normally would make my journals a lot differently. There's another side pocket with a bit of vintage lace. Sometimes I know myself I can actually overdo a journal. This is, I think it's TLC, Mrs. Cox. I know that's a Tsunami Rose one. All they have is just a bit of light sewing on those tags. It's just a really, really cute journal. Like I said, I just love the texture of how the staining of the pages come out. Another file folder. Here's a vintage trading card, a vintage Australian envelope, an index card, a vintage one. It's got a little note in there. So, like I said, I like creating this type of cover because of the solidness. Here, I created a piece of vintage ephemera. I've actually put a tutorial up, so that'll be coming. Oh well, it's up, but it's still not released. I'll show you how I produced that and made it look so vintage. Oh, I'm just really happy how it turned out. It's amazing what you can do, how you can make something look so old. A Tracy Fox envelope, an old vintage letter. Now, these are copies, but I like how aged all this looks, which is what I wanted Jenna to look like, that it was aged. This sewing throughout. So I hope she likes it. I just made it in the style that I know she would like, leaving a lot of room for writing, and that way she can do her own things in it. Made an envelope out of a book page. Again, I didn't overdo that, which normally my style would be to actually put a lot of stuff in it. This is from an old, I think it's one of the old Reader's Digest, the huge atlas books, and I thought that went appropriate in there. TLC, just some things are backed and some aren't. Mainly they're all backed. Again with a bit of vintage lace for a layer. Another bird tag. I made that tag for it. Again, I've actually put a tutorial up on that, which I'll probably release sometime this week, or a craft along. And the pocket there with a pocket from the Atlas, oh not the Atlas page, it's just an old vintage book I had lying around. Oops, going to the wrong side of the pocket. And I just put some, I think this one's it's from the book, the Digital Kit Memoirs from Archie Mays. This, not 100%, I think it's TLC, but if it's not, it'd be Mrs. Coggs, I'd say. So I didn't over-embellish this journal. I just thought it looked better the way I did it. Old library card that I vintaged up. Another one of those receipts from the, well, it used to be called RACQ. These days it's actually called RACV. So I made the library card look a lot vintage. I just liked how all this turned out. Sometimes simple looks really beautiful. And I wanted the book to look like a real vintage journal. Sometimes you don't need to dye everything, you know, to make a book look old. But yeah, I really like this. Made a journaling card. I have got a video on how I achieved this result on my YouTube. But I love the pages. And I know this would be her. So that was the reason behind this journal, and I know she'll like it. Well, I'm hoping she will. But that's the journal I completed. So I'm real happy with it. So thanks for watching. Bye for now.